We'll go directly to the editorials. Best, right? I have seen one very good editorial about the about what? Knowledge acquired at So this editorial. So have you seen from past 2 days? It is in the news. The business of selling babies. So they gave the full page for just for this editorial. And also it is happened in our next Secunderabad. So maybe hardly 2 to 3 kilometers from this place. So what happened here? What happened here? Surrogacy. What is the surrogacy? Artificial. Renting. That is the literal meaning. But before that, what exactly happened here in this case? Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you can tell. They paid the 30 lakhs rupees to the doctor. So there is a fertility center called Srishti Fertility Center. There is a couple from Rajasthan. So they don't have children. So they approached this doctor and they paid 30 lakh rupees. 30 lakh rupees. And 15 lakhs for IVF and 15 lakh for surrogacy. So what is mean by IVF and what does it mean by the surrogacy? IVF is test tube baby in the sense. So they make baby to grow in the test tube. So how a baby will be born? So what is the exact reproduction process? The egg from mother and sperm from father. So it fertilizes and turn into, and the baby will be born after the fertilization. So due to the multiple lifestyle changes or due to the infertility of the parents, they need some assistance for this fertilization. So which is not naturally happening. So they are doing in the lab. So it should happen naturally. Due to the natural process is not happening, they are artificially doing. So that is called assisted reproduction technology. So the IVF comes from assisted reproduction technology. Just on the backside of this institute also we have one IVF center. Law Excellence, beside the Law Excellence. So due to the rapid lifestyle changes of today's population, so the infertility is increasing too rapid. So the most cases of infertility is very much increasing. Why? What can be the reasons? So why this infertility is increasing? Why? What can be the probable reasons? Simple reasons, manaku telisina reasons. Anditlo pedda there are nothing new, nothing very scientific here. Yeah, stress. Yeah, food, lifestyle changes. Lifestyle changes. Like no workout for bodies. And what can be the other? Pollution. Yeah, everything. So the pollution. Definitely it will also affect the reproduction. And also due to education. So what will happen? How the education and jobs links to the infertility. Like getting education means like you are getting empowered. So you will do the job. So you will take the marriages very late. So if you are doing the marriages in the very late age, so definitely you have the higher chances. Yeah. So you can directly say the late marriages due to careers. So career focus. This is also happening, right? The age of getting married, the average age of getting married is rapidly increasing. So if the marriage is in the very late, so definitely, so it will impact the reproduction and also the fertility issues will also come. So, correct age of the marriage. It depends on the countries. It also depends on the persons. For India, you have to choose when it is the correct age for your marriage. Yeah. So the IVF, in vitro fertility. So what it is happening? In vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization means which is happening inside a lab. So here, so what it should have to happen in naturally, they're doing in the artificially. And once they have taken this sperm and egg and when it fertilized in the lab, then they will again inject into the embryo of the mother. That is that. Okay. Parallel, it's okay. Concept అర్థమైంది కదా. You understood the concept. Yeah, that is important. So here what happened in the Secunderabad case? So the doctor convinced the couple to do this IVF technology. So they also thought, they gave their samples, they gave their eggs, they gave their sperm, everything was done. And they also convinced that couple to go for the surrogacy. So in the surrogacy, there are two types of surrogacy. One is commercial surrogacy. Commercial, and one is altruistic. అసలు ఈ సరగసీని ఎందుకు వాడతారు? So why this surrogacy was needed? Yeah, whenever the woman, especially the mother, has incapable to bear the child or incapable to raise the child in her womb, so they will take the help of surrogate mother. Surrogate mother. Previously, India used to be a surrogate capital of the world. Surrogate capital of the world. So what does it mean by the surrogate capital of the world? Lot of exploitation used to happen. So all the foreigners, they used to visit India for the surrogacy needs. So they come, they will consult a hospital, they will take the samples, the sperm, egg samples, and they will fertilize, and they will drop that embryo in the surrogate mother and they will pay the cash. If you have noticed the several celebrities like our Manchakka, Lakshmi Manchu, Nayantara, yeah, yeah, surrogate mothers. Yeah, there are so many celebrities which adopted this to avoid. So complete the genetic material here. Complete the baby has the genes of
the parent, but nutrition are getting from the other mother.
So that is the
Altruistic and care function.
no. Altruistic is for the kind of a good intent. It's not for the commercial purpose. Previously, when these method came into existence, there is no laws in India. There is no proper civil laws in India. So people throughout the world, they used to exploit the women in the India. So they used to pay so much money to the hospitals. In the hospitals, what they will do? They will pay, if they pay 10 lakhs to give that mother, they will give only 50,000. So that is what happened in this case also, right? So they said 15 lakhs, they charged the 15 lakhs from the couple for surrogacy. And they just brought the baby for 90,000 and they gave to the couple and they said, this is your baby. And that baby continuously has some kind of a problems. But in
surrogacy mother ki 50 lakhs తీసుకున్నారు కదా హాస్పిటల్ వాళ్ళు ఎంత ఇస్తారంటే 50,000 60,000 అలా ఇస్తారు.
So here in this case they gave 90,000. But even they gave 90,000, but the baby is not the original couple's baby. So it's a complete cheating. Even after 30 lakhs they paid, they got a baby which doesn't belong to them even genetically. So the sperm or the egg which is not belongs to any of the parents. So what they have to do? It's kind of an ethical dilemma, right? So what you guys will do if you are in that type of case? No, like okay. But I'm thinking about the baby. Okay, everyone, we are all fine. Like they will get arrested, they will go to jail, like we get our money back or we don't get money back. So what happens to the baby?
ఎక్కడైతే తీసుకున్నామో వాళ్ళకి ఇప్పిస్తాం కదా డాక్టర్స్ until unless case is justified. వాళ్ళు రావాలి వాళ్ళు తీసుకుంటారు.
I'm talking about whether no. I'm talking generally whether you guys keep the baby or not keep.
We will keep the baby until unless original parents come.
Until unless
hospital will provide చేయరు.
For example, there is no like okay parents you don't know who are the original.
Government centers ఉన్నాయి కదా ఇవ్వడానికి adoption centers ఉన్నాయి వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ప్రొవైడ్ చేసుకుంటే డీటెయిల్స్.
So the same thing it happened here also. So they gave that baby to the government Sishu Suraksha some centers will be there, right? They gave to that center. So even after waiting like 5 years or 10 years and spending 30 lakhs, even they couldn't get their own baby. Just imagine that mental stress they used to have. Huh? Yeah, you can tell, man. Yeah, you can give your opinion. So whenever the ethics is one thing, or these kind of dilemmas are one thing, you can happily give your opinion, but you should have some basis to that opinion. You should have some strong substantiation to support that opinion. వాళ్ళే ఎందుకు పెంచుకోవాలి? So you said that why don't they can raise that baby, but why they have to raise? Because that baby is not theirs and they paid 30 lakhs for their own baby, not someone else's baby. It's kind of their moral obligations. If they want to raise, they can raise. They can go through a proper adoption. So it won't work now. So now they have to register through a proper adoption and now they have to raise that baby. So that is one thing. And now because of this, previously all the foreigners throughout the world, they used to visit India and they used to hire the women. And it used to cause the women exploitation. There are a lot of women exploitation used to happen. and also to regulate the industry. To regulate the industry, government brought Surrogacy Regulation Act. So government brought Surrogacy Regulation Act 2021. Surrogacy Regulation Act 2021. So what are the main features of this act? So the surrogate mother should be at least 25 to 35 years of her age, and she should have at least one child. She should have at least one child, the surrogate mother, and she should not charge more than the medical expenses. She should not take any money for carrying the baby. Only she should charge only for the medical expenses. Whatever the medical expenses used to happen, she should only charge that amount.
On papers.
Unofficial. She should only charge the medical expenses. So officially that is true. Officially like this. So what if the law found that they charge more than that, or the people gave more money than the medical expenses? They will get 10 years prison. 10 years of prison. And more important than that, like a surrogate mother, only once in her lifetime she will accept this work. She can't do it twice. Only once in her lifetime. Once in her lifetime. Especially previously, Europe, America, these people, they used to exploit this loophole a lot. When this surrogacy technology, like when they came, so there is no regulation. Like for example, OTT. When OTT came, even now they don't have proper regulation. And just imagine that Mirzapur 1, Mirzapur 2, a lot of Gali. Yeah, and also the Rana movie, Rana OTTs. Like the OTTs, they don't have any regulations. If they don't have regulations towards any kind of a public services or the public goods, so what will happen? It can give the bad impact towards the society. So many people after watching that OTT, and they used to mimic those things towards to their friends, class, society, parents. So bad things, easily it will be learned, especially by the kids at the tender age, teenage people. So for anything, it needs some regulation. Same thing happened when it initially came, there is no government regulation. So the people from America, Europe and other countries, they used to come to India and they can find the surrogate mothers very cheap. Very cheaply they can find. And they will make to carry their baby. And these surrogate mothers usually happen through agencies. Some middleman will be there. So these middlemen used to exploit this woman. They used to charge huge amount from the foreign customers. And now they used to give only 10%, 5% or pennies to the woman. And with this new regulation act, the foreigners are banned. This is completely for only Indians. So a foreigner cannot employ a surrogate mother in India. This is completely for Indians only. So what about the parents? So what are the conditions for parents to have this kind of a surrogate mother? And for parents, what are the conditions for parents? They should have, the male have 26 to 55 and the female, the mother, she should have 23 to 50. This should be their age bracket. This should be their age bracket. And they should not have any child. Any child. Any child in the sense, whether not even through adoption. Not even through adoption. చనిపోతే ఓకే లైక్ అట్ ప్రెసెంట్ but maybe that is not legal. At least the legal procedures are like this. Okay, so they should not having any child, whether through adoption also, and at least from 5 years. From 5 years they should be proven infertile. They should be proven infertile. Ante enti? So 5 years nunchi they should be, they're continuously trying, but they are infertile. They should show that kind of records. And for the agencies who are taking these kind of surrogacy, so they have to register with the government. There is no, with the Ministry of Health only they have to register. There is no, the regulation body was, particular nodal agency was not there, but with the government ministry they have to register. Only through those centers you have to approach the surrogate mother. So this is for what? The main objective of this regulation was to prevent the women exploitation and to regulate this market, surrogate market. So it is happening. So the only surrogacy was gone through only the altruistic methods. Means if the parents are infertile, they are unable to, just kind of a helping nature. Should not do it like a commercial intent. Yeah. And also there is one more new concept called 3-parent baby. Three-parent baby. Have you heard this? 3-parent baby? Here, in the sense, a baby has 3 parents. How the baby has 3 parents? Like usually, what is the reproduction? Like the egg and sperm. But when there is some mitochondrial defect with the mother's egg. So the mitochondria, what is mean by mitochondria? Powerhouse of cell. Just like our battery in our mobile phone. Yeah, it also has its own DNA. So it continuously powers the cells. So if it doesn't work, it has some defects, what will happen? Especially our brain, it needs a lot of energy, right? If it doesn't work properly, what will happen? There are so much mitochondrial defects, means the brain things will not work properly. So if we continue to fertilize or grow baby with the defected mitochondria, and the baby will not grow properly or not a complete human being. So what will happen, what is the thing it is happening here was, so the nucleus will be same. The nucleus will be same, but just they will replace the mitochondria. For example, so this is the zygote, mitochondria. So, for example, this is a donor cell, donor mother. Like you can see, parent number 3. She has a healthy mitochondria and also healthy nucleus. And this mitochondria is defected. And this person, she want to be the mother. she want to be the mother, but her mitochondria has problem. So what the doctors will do, they will remove this nucleus and they will remove this nucleus and they will inject this nucleus here. They will inject this nucleus here. Most of our genetic information is in our nucleus. Only very small genetic information is in the mitochondria. So then they will use this egg for the fertilization with the sperm. This is the simple concept of 3-parent baby. So to escape the mitochondrial diseases, this is called MRT, mitochondrial replacement theory or therapy, mitochondrial replacement therapy. So when the mitochondria is not functioning well in the mothers, so they will replace that mitochondria. So make sure, so she is the parent who want to be the mother, and from that mother's egg they will inject the nucleus in the donor's egg. There the mitochondria will be healthy. Here the mitochondria is not good. So after injecting the nucleus into the donors, then they will go for the fertilization with the sperm. So that is how the 3-parent baby will form. There are multiple incidents. So is it working? Yeah, it is definitely working. So there are so many babies born with this mitochondrial replacement therapy. So how the science and technology was moving rapidly, you should understand. You guys clear? What does it mean by a 3-parent baby? Or you have any doubt? Huh? Adhamainda? So the nucleus carries the most of the genetic information of a person, and also sperm. So these two together will form a baby which has the most of the genetic information. Only the mitochondria which supplies the power to the cells. So it will be from the third person. That is how the 3-parent baby will be formed. Next article. So they criticized UK trade deal these days. Yeah, India UK trade deal was happened, right? That is the free trade agreement, trade deal, yeah, everything. So have you heard this? So what is the basis, synopsis? Can you give any 1 or 2 feature of this free trade agreement of India UK?
99% of tariffs are reduced. Import
Agriculture products.
cards,
Johnny Walker?
Scotch,
Yeah, Scotch.
like
The Irish Scotch.
formal
Or the
garments.
so UK consists of how many states? ఇప్పుడు US, United States, how many states?
46.
US 50 states are called together, they are called United States. And UK, there are 4. So what are the 4? తెలీదా? ఎప్పుడు వెళ్ళలేదా? ఇంకా like independent autonomous countries. Scotland, Wales, and what is the other thing? Switzerland. న్యూజిలాండ్ ఎక్కడ, యూకే ఎక్కడ మేడం? ఐర్లాండ్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? ఐర్లాండ్ లో ఉంటుందా? అది ఐస్లాండ్. మీరు మొత్తం మర్చిపోయినట్టున్నారు. ఓకే.
The best part of the aspirants.
Yeah, what? Google it. So this is United Kingdom. So upper part was a Scotland, and this border you see, the Ireland was divided into two parts. London, ikkada madam, UK la kada. Yeah, you see, this is the Great Britain and England. So this is Wales. Wales. London is going, madam, London. And this is called famous English Channel, which connects the French and UK. So the Wales, Britain or the England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. These four together they call United Kingdom. అర్థమైందా? So India UK trade deal. Have you heard the term Brexit? Brexit. So what does it mean by Brexit? Brexit. The Britain, so it withdrew from the European trade deal. Like all the European countries, they have one trade congregation, which means any European country which is in that trade congregation or the trade association, they can freely come to any country. So they can settle there, they can work there. Even now they have one kind of visa called Schengen visa. You know Schengen visa? So with that visa, if you have a visa, one Schengen visa, one European visa, that is called Schengen visa. Yeah, Schengen. So if you have that visa, so you can roam 26 countries. How many countries are there in that visa? That countries. So instead of taking every country a visa, so all together they formed one Schengen visa. So similarly, all these European countries, they have one trade pact. So what happened? The Britain, it exited from this trade pact. So that is the biggest step, one of the major steps in the European history. So after that, the present Prime Minister of the England, who is this? Who is the present Prime Minister of the England? Who is the present Prime Minister of the England? Rishi Sunak. He lost the election now. No one removed him. He lost the election. Keir Starmer, he said that after the Brexit, this is the major trade deal happened with the Britain. This is the major trade deal. So what is the benefit India will get? So how is our life affected with this India-UK trade deal? As a commoner, like how our life is going to affect it. So what exactly this trade deals happening? So why in this editorial they criticize this trade deal? At least you should have some basic synopsis, right? Before why they criticize this trade deal. So with this trade deal, so our MSMEs, our farmers, especially the aqua farmers, so they can get the free access to the Britain market. Aqua farmer. Aqua farmers. Aquaculture, fish culture, aquaculture అంటే ఏంటి? అవి కూడా ఇప్పుడు అదే పొలంలో నువ్వు బియ్యం పండిస్తే హార్టికల్చర్ ఈస్ గ్రోయింగ్ ఫ్రూట్స్. హార్టికల్చర్ ఈస్ గ్రోయింగ్ ఫ్రూట్స్. ఇప్పుడు బనానా, వాటర్ మిలన్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా హార్టికల్చర్. ఒకవేళ వరి కంప్లీట్ గా తీసేసి చేపలు వేసారా అనుకోండి, నీకున్న పొలం ఉంది, నువ్వు వరి వేస్తావు. So whatever. So with this India-UK trade deal, so Indian farmers, especially the MSMEs. MSMEs, they can get the open, free access to the Britain market. Similarly, the Britain companies also will get the free access to the Indian market. If any new startups, the Britain startups, so they will get the access to the Indian market. And similarly, the Indian startups, they will also have the free access to the అవి చాలా ఉన్నాయి కదా మేడం అవి. So there are multiple schemes like that. But that is doesn't comes under this pact. That is different. Already that pacts are running. That agreements are running. So these India Britain pact is called CETA. So Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. So the Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. This is very important. Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. So when you are writing the answers, so instead of writing the India-UK trade deal, you should also mention these kind of words. India-UK trade deal, the CETA agreement. So Comprehensive Economic Trade Agreement. So like this. And also we'll get the, so UK is also famous for chocolates, biscuits, scotch, medical equipments. These all things will be available in our Ratnadeep very cheap. What is Ratnadeep? Or DMart. So akkadaki chala cheap gaane vastayi. So Britain, chocolates, biscuits, everything, they will come in the cheaper prices. So similarly, Indian made goods like some kind of jewelry, textiles, these all will go, you will get cheaper in Britain also.
New market.
So everyone got the new market. But what's the wrong here? What's the wrong here? One thing, so the government, the Indian government, so they, in that editorial, they criticize the Indian government for giving access of the Indian government data to the Britain companies. So the Britain companies can get any kind of the Indian government's data. So open data. So how the Indian companies will get to study the market. So similarly, Britain companies also will get the access towards the Indian data. Data localization. Who? Ever secure concept? Even ma'am, even your simple secret which you share with your friend has a potential to cause maximum damage. How you expect that this will be? And then UK was more close towards the US. You heard the name Five Eyes? Five Eyes. That is one of the most strongest intelligence pact which happened between the 5 countries. So they will share each and every intelligence input. So if you are in the part, so you will get each and every intelligence and you have to share. Make sure you have to share. So UK is also part of that Five Eyes alliance. Eyes. Five eyes. The 5 eyes. UK, England, Canada, and Australia, New Zealand, I guess. Just we'll see once. So this is the 5 eyes. So this is the intelligence pact, which is a very close pact, which share with the India, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. So they will share each and every tiny information. Each and every tiny information. Even recently we have the Khalistan issues with Canada, right? So the information which is shared by US. For Canada, how they got to know that Indian RAW is involved. So that information was shared by US because they are in the part of these 5 eyes. This is one of the strongest intelligence sharing pact network. The 5 eyes alliance.
Relevant to the GS.
Huh?
Relevant to the GS.
Yeah, of course it is relevant. Whatever the thing it is happening in the globe, it is relevant, right? How? So same thing, right? If India is opening all its government data to the UK and the UK companies, so definitely it has a chance to share that intelligence with the other partners. So the confidentiality is the breach, right?
What kind of data? India is
So all the government ministry data or whatever the data, like which government want to share with the Indian companies, it should also share with the UK companies also. That is one thing which they criticized in this article. And one more thing they criticized was, so India forgave the source code. What is this source code? చాలా సార్లు వినే ఉంటారు కదా న్యూస్ లో. For any device or any program, they have a source code. Source codes in the sense how this program or the device works. Even for a military aircraft, so it has its source code. So for any country which is doing the trade, like for example in this pact, like if Britain companies, the Britain goods and services, they are doing the trade in India. So the now Indian government, so what they said, according to this trade deal, so you no need to give any source code. Without giving the source code, you can do the trade. What will happen? Still India can't get more benefits. Simple ga cheptanu. French Rafales are taken from the France. French Rafales కొన్నారు కదా ఇండియా వాళ్ళు. ఫ్రెంచ్ రఫెల్స్ కొన్నప్పుడు ఇండియా హ్యాస్ ఆస్క్డ్ ఇట్ సోర్స్ కోడ్. సోర్స్ కోడ్ ఉంటే ఏంటంటే ఈవెన్ ఇట్ కెన్ ఇంటిగ్రేట్ ద ఇండియన్ వెపన్స్ టు ద రఫెల్స్. ఇండియన్ వెపన్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఇండియన్ మిజైల్స్, అస్త్ర, బ్రహ్మోస్, ఇవి కూడా రఫెల్స్కి అటాచ్ చేయొచ్చు. బట్ ద ఫ్రాన్స్ ఇట్ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు షేర్ ద సోర్స్ కోడ్, సో ఇట్ రిస్ట్రిక్టెడ్. Reverse engineering is not ethical, right? It should not be in the paper. If they got to know that you are doing the reverse engineering, they won't sell any aircraft in the future. So you won't get any technologies. Maybe you may get the sanctions also. That is very, very serious concern. If you are doing a reverse engineering of any product which you purchased from another country, that is very serious concern. So the IP rights of that country is completely violated, right? China did the same thing with the Russia. China brought all the aircraft from the Russia and they did the reverse engineering. And whatever the aircrafts now, the China is claiming that it is our homemade, or all the reverse engineered products from the Russia. So similarly, if you have the source code, you can control that device or control that equipment. So without sharing these source codes, so you can do the business in India. So the government allowed the UK companies. So that is also they criticized in the article that India should not have accepted this clause. So these two things, these two things, especially the one thing, Indian government data is sharing with the Britain companies, and also forgive the clause of source code. These two clauses the government should not have accepted in this India-UK trade deal, which is considered as a golden standard trade deal. Means the Indian government or the Britain government, they are telling it is the best trade deal in the world. One of the best trade deals in the world. But there are some loopholes with this trade deal. That is what they criticized in the editorial. So here you see they mentioned the open government data, the non-discriminatory access for UK parties to open government data. But here you can see how they write the essay. Miru prati editorial lo one thing you should understand was how they are introducing an essay, a topic, and how they are keeping the headings. And this is how you have to write the essay. Similar kind of a newspaper editorial. That is how you best write an essay. So read the editorials and frame how the introduction is framed, how the body is framed, and how they are concluding the essay, and how they are keeping the subheadings. You see, India must act quickly. Source code disclosure. Just they want to, a day before yesterday only we discussed, right? So you have to improve the mangroves. You have to improve the mangrove forest, which means it intended to protect the coastline. If you have the strong mangroves, it can also protect your coastline from tsunamis, and also the carbon sequestration. It can absorb the blue carbon. National Film Awards were given. So who got the best? They don't ask in the prelims, but it can be relevant. The best female actors, the Rani Mukherjee, for the film Miss Chatterjee and Miss Chatterjee versus Norway. So that is a real case in the Norway. So that movie was based on a real case in Norway. In the Norway, so the Indian couple, they have 2 kids. So usually what our parents do, they will beat, right? They will beat. Yeah. We all used to get the beatings from our parents. But that is not the case in the Norway. And you should not raise the people, your kids by even eating with your hands. That is also completely. So there are some certain culture, the Norway culture or the Norway kind of things. If you are doing against that, so your children was taken from away because you are violating their rights. So that is same thing happened. She has 2 children, and the 2 children was completely taken by the Norway government and put her in their own control. Why? Because the neighbors, they complained to the Norway police, like they're beating or they're feeding with their hands. So that is not the culture of the Norway. So based on the real incidents, they have taken the case. Finally, she won that case and she got her children back. So that is a big struggle. It is happened in the 2011. Maybe you guys are too young. Even our time lo kuda, like in movies, they used to have a satires. Like, if you beat me, like they will tell to their parents, if you beat me, I will complain to the Norway police. So they will come and they will take. Just ఊరికే అవి ఒక సెటైర్లు మూవీలో అలా సెటైర్లు వేసుకునేవాళ్ళు. So these kind of case studies can be helpful for the ethics. And also the 12th fail. So what is the 12th fail movie? 12th fail. It also got the no actor, like it was Vikrant Massey and best film also it got. Okay, 12th fail. Okay, best film on national values. So last year, who got the best actor award? Bye. Allu Arjun. No. Allu Arjun got the best actor, right? No, last year only. No. This is, for example, if it is the 2025, right? What is the date of the movies they consider? 2023. 2023 Jan to December. 2023 Jan to December. So that is the timeline they consider. Yeah, 12th fail named the best film. The 12th fail you should all guys watch because it is a UPSC. Yeah. Chusara? Andaru chusara? Yeah. Trump to deploy the nuclear submarines in response to Madhudev's comment. And about the Trump's tariffs. So what is the Trump's tariffs are yesterday. From yesterday it started to implement. But a tariffs nunchi chala Indian products were removed. So petroleum products are not added in the tariffs. Pharmaceutical products are not added in the tariffs. Yeah. Because now even the US needs the Indian made petroleum products. So they forgave from the tariffs, Indian petroleum products are completely removed. Indian pharmaceutical products, API, no. They kept like that. But there are some list of the products were not added in the tariffs. So, no. They said only we will bring the tariffs. They didn't say on these products we will add, on these products we didn't. But yesterday in the final list, the tariff list, these things are completely kept away. So mostly the petroleum products and the pharmaceutical products, semiconductors, these kind of things were kept away. And the mobile phones. So mobile phones means the Apple. So many people think that Apple phones the cost will rise. So it will, it will not going to change anything. The main point of why this Trump is telling that why we have to brought the tariffs on India was, so Indian market is not opening for the American made agriculture products and the dairy products. Not exactly reason because the India is buying the oil from the Russia. The prime reason is, so India is not opening its market for the US made agri products and the dairy products. So what will happen if India open the market for the US made agri and dairy products? It is too cheap. It is too cheap. For example, a buttermilk packet or the yogurt packet, which you are getting for the 25 rupees. If the US products flood in the Indian market, maybe you will get for 20 rupees or the 15 rupees only, which is good for us, but not good for the dairy farmers. Which is good for us, but it is not good for the dairy and the agriculture farmers. Around 700 million, ante 70 kotla mandi Indian population was dependent on the agriculture and the dairy. So it will impact all these 70 crores. So that's why Indian government is very cautious in opening the market for the US based agri and dairy products. So the next reason was the trade with Russia. And the third reason was the BRICS. So India was the part of the BRICS. These are the three reasons, the three main reasons why the Trump is levying so much taxes on India.
So India is doing anything about that agriculture thing because US is having a lot of machinery and bulk production.
India has also started to mechanize, right? So they are using the drones, they are mechanizing, they have brought the IoT technologies. If the efficiency increase, the production also will increase. Obviously. If efficiency increases, automatically the production will definitely increase.
But there are no solid evidence of manufacturing.
It has to slowly, it's not rapidly mechanized like US. US is a completely technology based country. But India is not that much fast in implementing or adopting the technology. Slowly it is adopting. So that's how it is going. It is not at least like a China. So that is the class for today.